Hey, Pivotal Educators, happy 2021 and welcome back to the Pivotal House. We have a lot of great things in store for you this semester with a few changes to our outreach, our programming structure, and our Mighty Network. We'll come to share those new updates with you all soon, but for now, we'd like to talk about the renovations we have in store for the greenhouse. We've done a lot of restructuring with the goal of making the greenhouse more accessible, more relevant, and above all, more accommodating for each and every one of you. Now, Noah and I are super excited to tell you all about what we have up our sleeves. But first, let's do a little recap of how we got to these renovations.
Thanks so much, Jerome. We wanted to start really by focusing on what we went through last semester. When we created the greenhouse for the fall, we really wanted it to be a space. We knew that there was so much going on over the course of everyone's life amidst the pandemic and any number of the things that are very apocalypse-like in our world right now. So we wanted to create a space to bring all of you together, to share ideas, share thoughts, and really to just be a community over the course of the pandemic and your first semester's teaching in that space. During our time in the greenhouse, we learned that there were a few things that we wanted to modify going into the spring. The first thing is that we wanted to offer a little bit more flexibility for everyone entering into the spring semester, where we gave folks a chance to really craft their own experience with the greenhouse so that you can have as much or as little engagement with project work, with idea generation, and with creating different design experiences throughout the semester. We heard from all of you last semester that having a little bit more structure around that would be quite useful, but also to the point that time really was something that wasn't on our side for all of this. So for the spring, we've redesigned things in a few different ways to help accommodate those two core pieces: flexibility for your schedules, while also giving the structure and space to allow you to experience a lot of those different components of our design community that we grew to love over the course of our design sprints at the beginning of the Pivotal Network.
And that's how we arrived at this new greenhouse. Our new greenhouse is meant to be more specific and project oriented, but as Noah mentioned, the greenhouse was used as a catch-all for the Pivotal Network's entire programming last semester. So we have done a better job of compartmentalizing all the things that make the community so rich, with professional learning happening over in the fireside chats, community building happening in our new social hours, and then the hands-on design work happening here.
To set things up for the semester, we really wanted to focus on piloting a new structure for the greenhouse. And we've broken it down in these monthly chunks that are all organized by independent group work that all of you will be participating in. Throughout the semester, each month, you'll have the chance to meet with us as the Pivotal Network team to get our input on work that you're doing and help give some guidance and shape to the work that you're doing throughout the semester. You'll have opportunities to meet with your own smaller group at a time that works for all of you. And then at the close of each month, you'll have the chance to present and share the work that you all have done with a larger total cohort of the Pivotal educators who are joining us for this semester. And we're calling that final space the Greenhouse Salon. It's a space to share ideas, to get input, and to get a lot of that sort of community development brought into your ideas as you work throughout them. To talk a little bit about how we're going to structure this and how we're going to break this down, we're going to go into each part of these step by step. Jerome's going to kick us off here by talking a little bit about how we see your participation being more flexible throughout the semester and what we're thinking for that.
Thanks, Noah. And as he mentioned, to accompany this new structure, we are introducing a new approach to your engagement with the greenhouse. We're calling it flex participation. In a nutshell, flex participation allows you all to choose exactly how, when, and what you'd like to engage with in the greenhouse, and ultimately in the entire Pivotal House as a whole. Here's how it works. First, you choose your time engagement. Educators will self-define their time commitment for the greenhouse specifically. The types of time engagements are as follows: full-time, part-time, and as needed. We're defining full-time this semester as any educator who's willing to commit about an hour and a half to 2 hours per week. Meanwhile, part-time is half that, so 45 minutes. And then as needed is just that. These educators are offering community support in the form of project feedback and support when available. Then, once you choose your time engagement, you then tell us how you would like to fall on the synchronous spectrum. This spectrum refers to the scale in which educators can use to self-identify how they foresee themselves contributing to their group. So this is how the spectrum works. We're going to go from 1 to 5, with 1 being mostly asynchronous and 5 being fully synchronous. So fully synchronous, self-explanatory. You're showing up to all your meetings, the salons, so on and so forth. But what we mean by mostly asynchronous is that, yes, you'll probably be contributing mostly through feedback and working on the project asynchronously on your own time, but we still require you to show up to the greenhouse salons as much as possible. Those are going to be pinnacle coming up this semester. And then finally, as part of flex participation, you get to choose the type of project that you like to work on. And as Noah stated, the greenhouse is meant to be more project oriented this semester. And so groups will be created based on topic alignment. Here's the type of projects you can choose from. The first is your own stuff, creating whatever you want as it relates to your individual life as an educator, any projects or research things that you're personally passionate about. The second is creating something new as it relates to the Pivotal Network, and that is centered around bringing novel ideas to reality. The third is supporting a TPN project. So as true co-owners of the network, we hope to have a handful of educators directly involved in some of our more ongoing programmatic pieces. And then the fourth is picking up where we left off. Think of this as your design proposals that you had at the end of the 5th design sprint for PD. We can pick those things back up and continue them forward.
Thanks so much, Jerome. As you mentioned, we really are focusing on group work throughout the course of the greenhouse this semester. And with that, we want to offer flexibility for all of you to create groups that are organized based off of where you fall on the synchronous spectrum, where you fall on your time availability, and where you fall on the type of project that you want to work with. So as Jerome mentioned, we're going to be grouping people based off of those parameters and trying to align interests based off of topics, your interest on focusing on things, and how your time and synchronicity play into that factor. As you work throughout these groups, you'll be able to set your own expectations as a group for what you want to accomplish throughout the semester. And over the course of that time, you'll have moments to contact us, to engage with the broader network of the Pivotal Network, with our salons that are going on throughout the semester, and we'll culminate your time during the greenhouse this semester with a final proposal. I don't want that final proposal to sound like something that's too daunting. It's really meant to be a scaffolding to allow you to continue to push your work along throughout the greenhouse and give you some structure to develop things in. But as we mentioned above, the projects can vary from something that you're just picking up from some of the work that we've done in the past. It could be something completely new that you started. It could just be supporting another TPN project. So there's a lot of different flexibility, and the proposals will match the expectations that you set within your group. So with all this in mind, I'm going to pass it back over to Jerome to lay out a few of the next steps and the immediate action pieces that we're going to be focusing on to start the greenhouse this semester.
Appreciate that, Noah. I don't know about y'all, but I am super excited for what we are able to accomplish as a group this semester. And I'm truly hopeful that our approach to greenhouse, the new greenhouse 2.0, if you will, is more accommodating and flexible and meets everyone's needs and expectations. And so all that being said, as far as next steps goes, we have a very, very important survey where you get to choose that flex participation, right? So we need to know that ahead of time. So we're going to send out a survey. We're calling it the individual greenhouse plan and the scheduling survey. Please fill that out and get it back to us, and it'll help us define and choose which groups you're going to be a part of. In addition to the survey, we also need you to fill out the doodle poll, because then we'll be able to schedule when your group meets and so on and so forth. After that, we are going to come back and have our family meeting just like we did at the beginning of the fall. We're going to do it here at the beginning of the semester. We're going to talk about all these pieces again. Everything in this video is going to be recovered and offer the space for you all to ask us questions. And then we're going to get into it. We're going to assign the groups and get you all together in groups and in pairs and so forth. And then with that, when you meet, we're going to allow the space for y'all just to get to know one another, get reacclimated, and then do that group expectation building that Noah so eloquently spoke about before. And then you guys get to choose what your project's going to be, how you want your proposal to look like, and the expectations that you all have for yourselves and for the work that you're going to do this semester. Really looking forward to it, really excited, and we can't wait to see you in the new greenhouse.
See you all in the new greenhouse.